Namaste, Vitruvians, and hello from sunny California. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. How are you feeling, Nick?
I'm feeling good. Totally jet lagged, just like you. Didn't sleep at all last night, and pumped. Really, really excited.
Yeah, I'm back on schedule, so I'm doing great. I had a great week, just a week of catch up. So
Ah, that
yeah,
that's
but I'm getting caught up, and I feel great. I mean, we've got a lot of exciting things to share today.
yeah. It's going to take me a while to get back to normal. And someone on Twitter, when I said I was jet lagged, said, "Oh, now I'm going to talk about it for 20 minutes." So I said, "Yes, I'll talk about it for 30 minutes now." No, I'm just kidding. No, no talk about jet lag. We'll get moving. Really, really. There's a lot of exciting things. I am actually pumped. And um, it feels like we just did this. Oh, yeah, we just did, right? On
Yeah,
Monday. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah. But nevertheless, there's still things to update on. And I'm
Mhm.
really, really excited. So I think we should just get going. So let me
Let's do it. Yeah.
uh, add the screen here. And here we go. All right, folks, welcome to Vitruveo Spotlight. This is season 5, episode 5 on November the 1st, 2024. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO, and with me is Mike Purdy, COO. And on the Spotlight, what we do is we review the events of the past week and also talk about what's coming up in the week ahead. So we're really excited to bring this to you every week. And today, we have lots of interesting news. But to start off with, I'm going to talk about a special format that we've created here to talk about the general Vitruvio updates. So I find that there's always four topics that are kind of front and center in the Discord, in our ecosystem, etc., which is protocol, listing information, issues, and backlog. So I thought, why not we make that a formal structure? And when we talk about the Vitruvio update, we do it under these four categories or buckets, if you will. So let's go ahead and start with protocol. So the main thing there is we discussed last week that we are changing the transaction target code so that it only is triggered whenever there is actually, in fact, a rebase. So that code is now done, and it's we are beginning testing this week. So we'll look to roll that out within the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe. We are certainly behind on that. We know that because other things have taken priority, and this particular change didn't occur until just last week. So, well, we're going to expedite as much as possible. And thanks to all the validators who are very, very supportive of these kind of updates and quick to roll out. It should be pretty efficient. Mike, you had an update on the ice node concept we talked about, right? That
Yeah. So, you know, anytime the community, makes a request or has a specific need, we're always trying to figure out solutions that would make sense. And there was a lot of concerns from the validator community that they're paying, a monthly fee in order to run the node, whether it's AWS or Azure or Contavo. There's all these services that they're paying every single month without having any blockchain volume, you know, that we're seeing yet. So we came up with a couple of solutions. One was obviously you could sell your node because we have more than enough validators on board. The other issue or the other solution was that you could freeze your node. Um, and so we offered up a pretty reasonable solution that would require validators just to freeze their node, take it offline. There's no issues with that. It would also enable them to save that monthly cost, which in some cases, we have some node holders that have maybe 5 nodes. So that could be anywhere from 500 to 1,000 a month, in currency, real money that they're paying out or shelling out every single month. So we did offer that as a solution. And Esso was integrating that on the back end. And so far, we have one person that's taken it. So it's a little confusing, for us, for the team, is when we try to listen to the community and provide solutions, and then it turns out only one person took it. So Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. So it's business as usual. Obviously, if you did freeze the node, you would not participate in the VIP incentive, and then it would require to be offline for 6 months minimum. There's obviously not going to be that much transaction volume, and you have to kind of do your own math. We don't know what the transaction volume is going to be after list. But we're optimistic. But what is the break-even point between node income um, and the overall expense? It's hard to say. But the VI that's why we produced or offered the VIP incentive, where there's a grant amount of Vitru that's allocated each month to all the validators in order to help offset some of those initial costs. And so yeah, I mean it's up to the validator community, whatever they feel they benefits them. At least the solution is there if they want to take it, but if not, continue as and keep it online.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to everyone's favorite topic, listing. So we had an initial meeting with a listing agent that we met at the Dubai conference, and they represent multiple sexes. And we are working on developing an action plan and executing on that. We are still on track to sort of wrap in December for a go live in Jan. One of the key things that people need to remember is that you will often hear, oh, it's so easy to list your token or coin or whatever. Remember, it is vastly different for a chain. When you have a chain involved, the SEX developer team has to get involved. We have to get on their calendar, and we have to get into integration. So Mike, I'm gonna hand it off to you here to talk in more detail about the insights from the listing agent.
Yeah. So it was great. We obviously went through. We wanted my focus in Dubai was really to work with other and collaborate with other projects that are more utility driven that really will provide value for the blockchain as a whole. And one of the focuses was listing. So there were a number of exchanges that were there in Dubai. We initiated some conversations with them. Some are tier two, some are tier one. And we really just wanted to say, hey, we're at the point where we're ready to start that process. And so we went on a fact finding mission. There was a project there that really helps projects and protocols get listed, and they're kind of like a middleman. They have backdoor contacts so that you don't have to kind of sit in line and wait. It's kind of like a fast pass or something like that that helps you get onboarded a lot more quickly. So we set up, we had an introductory conversation with them in Dubai, and then we had another meeting after Dubai where we discussed, hey, here's our situation. This is kind of where we are. These are our goals. Our deadline is January. We have obviously Vitruveo that we want to list as well as Wrap Vitru. And we got some great feedback from them. The overall direction was they recommended us to go with 3 tier 2 exchanges to start with and work on building the community until we can get about, I think it was somewhere around 100,000 followers on X. And because obviously tier 1 exchanges are very, very expensive to list, in addition to having a lot of other supplemental requirements in order to onboard. And the reason is because a tier 1 exchange, it's not just the service fee that they want, but they want new users to the exchange. So they want to onboard projects that have huge communities and that sort of thing. So they recommended us to go the tier 2 route, but not just to go with one, but maybe 3 tier 2 exchanges, which have close to 6 million active users, per exchange, and the fees are very affordable. So yeah, they carved out a roadmap for us. We're going into we're reviewing all the data that they gave us, and we're starting that process. So that's kind of where we are.
All right. So one requirement in particular floored me a little bit, which was the capital requirement, the daily transaction limit. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So they're looking for. Let me just see if I have my notes. There are different. I think it was close to 50 million a day is
50
what
million a
tier
day.
ones are looking
Yeah.
for, which is a significant amount of transaction volume for the chain. Obviously, we don't have that, so we're not going to be able to meet that requirement at this time. But what's great is they actually have they've sent me kind of an onboarding package with their company that kind of shows them a roadmap to tier one and what are the steps that we can do on our end in order to get there. So it's actually really exciting. It lays things out very, very clearly for us. We're going to initiate a marketing plan to grow the community. We're doing a marketing plan, obviously, for the tier two exchanges. The tier two do supply marketing incentives, for those that are listing. We can afford the tier two, which is great. There are only two companies right now that are somewhat approved in the US, and that's obviously Coinbase, which is tier one. And then I forget the other one, but uh, there are certain divisions that are approved in the US, but most of them we're going to have to, do some kind of workaround because there's
Was
the
it Kraken?
US. What's that?
Kraken, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is Kraken.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at that. But the overall sentiment is that because of the SEC regulations within the U.S., a lot of exchanges are very hesitant, and especially what happened with, um, you know, what's the name of the company, Nick, the big exchange that went out of business for fraud. Um, Somebody help me in the comments. FTX.
FTX.
So,
There you go. Yes.
yeah. So they're very gun shy with the U.S. until that gets worked out. So that being said, I feel comfortable that we have a really good roadmap that will lead us to list in January. We've got a company that is really giving us backdoor access to all of these exchanges so that we're not on a wait list, which is great. And yeah, and that process has been started. So we're excited.
Great. And we'll commit to giving you regular updates about this, but recognize that these teams are dealing with thousands of projects. And the listing agent told us that every response might be 3 or 4 days from them. So we're glad to be starting early so we can meet our deadline. But there might be some weeks where we have nothing to report because we are waiting on a team. You
Yeah,
mentioned,
everything's been also kind of in a standstill because of the elections in the US.
yeah.
So everybody is just kind of waiting to see who's going to go into office in 4 or 5 days. So once that gets behind us, there's going to be this kind of like a hose. When you crimp a hose, there's back pressure, and then all of a sudden you let go of the hose. There's all of this onboarding. So there is going to be a little bit of a delay, but he said 4 to 5 days, even with his back end contact. So I can't imagine us listing on our own what kind of backlog, or what kind of support that we would get. And we explained to him some of the concerns that we had with the prior listing with Vitruveo. They said no problem. So they're in part doing both marketing support. They have a lot of resources within their company that are going to kind of hold our hand through. So yeah, so I think it's a good solution to what we're looking for.
Yep. All right, moving right along. Next one is issues. So we want to highlight here any issues that people are facing and deal with that. So I understand that people are wrapping Vitru on deprecated wrap Vitru contracts. We will not be verifying these on Explorer simply because we don't want to encourage people to go to those contracts. They are useless. They are deprecated. But I understand that some people might have wrapped Vitru in there. So we'll provide a fix up feature in scope for you to go and unwrap, and that's it. And when those contracts go to zero, we'll pause them so that you cannot wrap anymore on that. But please don't use deprecated contracts. The only official wrap Vitru contract, you can find the address for it in your scope. That's where you always go in scope to find the official contract that you should use. Now, we also are noting that large Vortex purchases are failing, and that is due to running out of gas. The Vortex airdrop, when you buy a bundle, is fairly complicated. It's doing 6 different types of transactions there, including transferring Vitru, staking Vitru, uh, airdropping Vibe, airdropping Vortex, airdropping Vitro, and one more I'm forgetting. So that takes up a lot of gas, and when you multiply the bundles, it pretty much runs out of gas. So we have to figure out a way to update that so it can be done in batched way. Don't know right now, but I'll figure something out, and we'll be sure to fulfill the failed transactions. I believe there are four of them, and we'll get them manually taken care of. So not to worry, we'll solve the problem. Next thing is our backlog. So number one on our backlog was staking, and I'm very pleased to report that as of this maybe 10 minutes ago, we now have staking live. And let me go here and show you. So there it is. So you can go ahead and stake on Scope. Now, when this update was pushed, it also turned out that it broke something, which is everyone's Vibe counter. I see a lot of comments about it. I started seeing that when Mike was talking about a listing, etc. And so while he was talking, I went ahead and created a fix and pushed it out, and hopefully it's deployed. So you should be able to see your vibe correctly now, and it should be okay. So if it isn't still, let me know. But here you go. So staking is pretty straightforward and simple. You drag your slider and say what percentage of your bag you want to stake. So I'll just say 10 here. You pick a term, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, whatever you want. Pick that, and now we click the stake button. It'll tell you that it's going to transfer the number of Vitru you've chosen there. You hit confirm, and a few seconds later, the page will reload, and you are done. So there we go. We're done. Let's go look through our thing here. I think I did 10 Vibe for 3 years, so it should be a little lower here. There it is. That's the transaction I just did. 10 for 3 years, 30, and it immediately updated in there with the block number, the date, etc. So we're all set. Now we want to add calculators and other things, etc. But I just want to walk before we can run. I know this was a feature that everyone was really anxious to have, and we're glad to have it. Let's watch that stake total number now, 7,088,609, and let's watch it go up. And looking forward to seeing all that. So anyway, staking is done there, and the initial deployment of staking caused a problem with Vibe. That has been fixed. Love fixing things in real time here, writing code, deploying and pushing to GitHub, and deploying to Vercel in real time. You only find it here on Vitruveo. Just kidding. All right, what's next? Next up in our backlog is Vibe pools in Scope. So we want to get those going. The contract code is written. Just the UI needs to be built on that. Another backlog item is Validator and Super Boosters Vitro airdrop. So that is also coming up. And last two items we want to touch on a little bit. So we are a little behind on the Veo landing page. We added the Orbit token. We added referrals, etc. So those changes are made in the backend on the contract, but we just ran out of bandwidth to do that because of Dubai. And now that's why you see it's on the backlog here. We're going to catch up with it. But I do want to let you know that marketing on Veo has commenced. In fact, Dubai was marketing item number one there. We are also now finalizing our list of, not list, but entity rather, where we will hand off the marketing contract to. And next week, we'll have a big marketing announcement on Veo. Looking forward to that. Last item is Vortex white paper, and I'll let Mike field that one.
Yeah, so we've made some progress. Nick and I met in Dubai, and one of our meetings was to work on the Vortex white paper. It's coming together. We're still tweaking a little bit of the tokenomics just to kind of see how we're going to go to market with that. And so we want to clean that up a bit. We're hoping to launch the white paper by next Friday. So it is progressing. It is something that Nick and I take seriously. It's not just a game that we want to kind of throw out there. We're trying to really go to market with a really compelling game, not just kind of throw something together just for the community and say, okay, it's done. Here you go. We really want to make sure that the tokenomics are sound, that the gameplay is actually fun to play and not just geared around tokenomics, because those games typically don't do well. We already have on the back end, we have the influencers kind of worked out. We've already had meetings with them; they're ready to go. Um, Much of the gameplay in Web3 is in Asia, so our influencers are specific in that region. So yeah, I think next Friday we should be good to release the white paper and take it to the next level.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our. It was the first time meeting IRL, and we spent a lot of time working on the Vortex thing, hammering out all the details, and it's great. I forgot how much more productive you can be IRL, as
Hmm.
opposed to Zoom. It was really the back and forth, and then getting the thing, the major parts of it banged out. That was great. Uh, let's see here. Update for Vitro staking that's coming. And oh, sorry, I clicked too soon. So that's coming up. I will add that to the backlog. I wanted to put sort of the top items here and not go. There are actually many more. In fact, Biz is kind enough to maintain a list for us and keep us honest on some of those. So there's a laundry list of items. For example, there's probably sneakers. There's also some other things there, but we'll get what we'll do is we'll focus on top five every week, and as we check them off, they'll move off here and get others on the list here so we can get through them. um Dadbug veteran asks to confirm that the Orbit NFT will be backdated. Yes, absolutely, that is backdated, no question about it. All right. Oh, someone says almost 12K Vitru stake. Oh, yeah, let's go look at that. That's cool. All right, look at that number go up. That's amazing. I love it. So, thank you. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it because it's very important for us to be able to do that. As you will see later in the session today, we are doing everything we can to make this listing really, really successful as we go to the exchanges. And this is an integral part of that. All right, moving right along. Now let's talk a little bit about Exhibit. So here, the first item is that we today have production deployed a merger of search, stacks, and stores application. I don't think a lot of people realize, but there were three different applications. But since we've rebranded to Exhibit, we merged them all. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that when you go to the listing page, you'll see now that it looks a bit different, but it has the same nav bar, and it's part of the same application. You have actually not left to go to store.vitruveo.xyz. You're still in search, and so this will now we are probably I would say 3 to 5 days away from deprecating search.vitruveo.xyz, and it'll become exhibit.app permanently also. So we're excited about that. So this is now all one app, and it's in production. It's looking great, and we are working on a bunch of other features, which I'll talk about momentarily. But we continue to make minor tweaks to all of these. In fact, I would say not minor, but numerous, some major also tweaks to it. This bringing all this together was actually a pretty big deal because previously search did not have any Web3 functionality, but now when you go here, you've got the connect wallet button and all of that integrated. So you've got a whole lot of Web3 functionality that got added into this app to make it one app. And there's a reason, which may not be obvious to you. There's a reason that we are doing it this way, because exhibit.app is also going to be stores, right? Where anyone can come and create a marketplace in 15 minutes. And we don't want to have three different sites that constitute a store. So a store is one site that looks and feels exactly like this, but with the branding of the company and their logo, etc. And they don't bounce around from different URL to URL. So if your company name is or alias is Delta, it'll be delta.exhibit.app, and that's what you do. You that's your marketplace right there. So that part is live. I'm excited about that. In development, we have stores, so we've got that going, and creator level. So this is all that's in terms of product development. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I'll have more to show you next week, because we'll have the first pass at stores, and another exciting feature which I will talk about right after we talk about exhibit ambassadors. And for that, I'd like to bring on our house creator lead, Pam. Hello, Pam. How are you?
Hi, Nick. Namaste. Hey, Mike. Great
Namaste.
to see you
Namaste.
guys.
Great to see you. Let's talk a little bit about exhibit ambassadors. What is this?
What is this? So, what we want to do this this is an effort to help educate a global audience of artists about the long-term income solutions provided by Exhibit
All
in a
right.
nutshell. So
Okay.
we really want to expand to people who speak languages other than English, and make sure that everyone in those communities understands how to go about working with Exhibit, how to go about staking their Vitru, and taking advantage of, you know, not just claiming the Vitru to the wallet and trying to cash out, but looking at those long-term income opportunities.
Yeah. So really, as the name ambassador suggests, we want to have country specific or culture or even language specific
Mhm.
representatives around the globe that can help us communicate very important information in terms people can understand, in language that people can understand. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and we want to do that in the way that, like you said, culturally it works the best for people. What we're looking at is people in our community who are artists who have experienced everything kind of along the way, and
Yeah.
are able to clearly communicate that to their own communities in the way that in any format that works best for that community.
Yeah, and this also includes translating materials, hosting spaces, and things like that, I presume.
Yeah, yeah. We're putting together a wish list of what we think would work really well. And I think sort of what you're doing here with AMAs and spotlights every Friday, we want to get a regular schedule so that the communities can know that, like, that's when a certain time in the week, that's when they can learn about the updates on Exhibit. And I will host a separate meeting with all the ambassadors to make sure everyone's on the same page. Like, here's what we're going to talk about this week, and then let them take that information to the community and just make sure everyone stays up to speed. Because as we all know, things change really fast, and it's hard to catch up if you lose track. But we want to give everyone the opportunity to stay up to speed with us.
Yeah, and really, this is I feel in a way this is a pivotal moment for us at Vitruveo, because Mike and I were also talking the other day. Is now we feel we are ready to start involving more of the community and reaching out, because before it was very rough, and it wasn't organized enough to be able to give people tasks and focus, etc. But we can do that now, and I think. Uh, when did we say we were going to make an announcement to the broader community with the details of this ambassador program? Is
Well, I so we're ready to I've actually reached out already in some of our
Yeah.
Telegram and Discord to say, hey, are you someone who can speak a language other than English, and would you be willing to come on board? So I've got a short list of people, but we actually
Okay.
have a sign up form that I'll be putting out next week. So if anyone is interested in being an ambassador, that they can sign up. I have an overview deck as well that will be ready, I would say, on Monday,
Yeah,
for
so
if
that's what
someone
I
wants
meant,
to
is like
know
when
what
we
the
can have the
specifics
formal
are. Yeah,
communication and for people to
yeah,
sign up. Okay,
yeah,
great,
yeah.
great. So I think we are going to kick things off here with Iran. We
Hmm.
have a very large Persian community here, and let's bring on. Let's see, who are we talking to here? So we have Rehani. So here we go. Welcome, Rehani. How are you?
Hi, dear Nick, dear Mike, dear Pam, and everybody in the live on the live. How are you?
I'm doing very good. So where are you located?
I'm in Tehran.
Okay. Great. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, Rehani. Give us some background.
Thank you very much. If I want to introduce myself, I have to tell you about mm, I'm an artist more than 15 years, and I'm a member of RGDS. I'm business coach more than 8 years. Actually, I'm a physical artist and digital artist. My NFT journey began more than 2 years ago with foundation. And I'm mandala artist. I really like drawing mandala, and drawing mandala is my meditation magic, and I really like it because I can have a focus and peace, and have a lot of relaxing with this. I really like it. And in Web2, last month I have a solar exhibition in Tehran, and I really like it, and it was a very good experience for me. And in Web2, I was an arts director for many years, and I enjoy a lot to have a collaboration with different artists and merge a lot of idea and create a new art with together. For this, I speak to artists on Web3, and I can have a more than 200 collaboration on Web3. I have two group collaboration on Foundation, on Ethereum chain and Base chain, and it's my honor. It's my honor telling you about my last group collaboration with 100 artists with different style. With my mandala in this project, we want to we create a lot of artwork. Wonderful artwork, and we want to put in your gallery. It's my honor. It's really my honor. We are a first gallery in your platform, and I really like it because when I see you in Dubai, I speak about your platform, and I understand a lot of things about it, and I'm so happy for everything you created. Your platform, I think it's great for artists, and artists can earn a lot of things with this. For the first, they can have a lot of credit with this, and they can have a lot of money with this. It's very great. I really like it. Thank
All
you.
right. That's amazing. It's great. You didn't let me ask you any questions. You just went through and gave me the whole spiel. That is great. Wonderful. No problem. I have to relax and just listen. That's great. Um, but thank
Thank you.
you,
Thank you very
Rehani.
much.
You're. It's amazing that you're bringing 100 artists in your collective, and you're going to be one of the first to trial out to beta the exhibit stores feature, which is designed for galleries and groups such as yourself to create your own marketplace. Now, when we were talking, and I was really, it was my privilege to meet you in Dubai. You flew there and stayed there at your own expense, and I appreciate that. Our community appreciates that you're willing to really step up for the community, and do that. Now, you told me about some of the artists, and I said, hey, let's share with the community some of the artworks that they presented. So let's do that here. Let's quickly whiz through some of the artworks you shared. These are some really amazing artworks from the 100 artists. We just have a small sampling here, but I think it's going to make a big difference on Vitruveo to have these really talented artists represented on chain here. So thank you for sharing it, and I'm really looking forward to onboarding these artists and having them be part of the exhibit family. I was looking at the detail on this. In fact, like, this one, your artwork. What a creative way to put a mandala there. It's a fusion. It's really really amazing. So hats off to you. I think you're an amazing community builder, and I think you will help us a lot furthering our message with the Persian artist community, because I feel to date there's been a lot of artists who are interested in Vitruveo, but don't understand much because of the language barrier. And now with the ability to sort of translate and do things like that, it's going to be really great. But yeah, I mean, these artworks are spectacular. Pam, Mike, do you have anything to say about these artworks here?
Well,
They're very
I think they're
ziva.
stunning.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Sounds like Mike learned some new language in Dubai.
Yeah.
So, and it's
No,
very impressive also that you've pulled together a community of 100 artists. So thank you so much for bringing them to exhibit. And yeah, let's get everyone set up. That's going to be amazing.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
So welcome as our exhibit ambassador for Iran. We look forward to collaborating with you. And what we have created a model where we will have at least 2 ambassadors in each country as a backup and as a support. So I'm now pleased to welcome our next ambassador. It is Lady Shut. So Lady Shut, welcome here. Let me take this off the stage so we can see you. Hi, how are you? You're muted. Can you? We can't hear you very well. No audio. Sorry. Maybe can you leave and come back, and we can. Meanwhile, I'll show people your amazing artworks and tell people about you. All right. So, Lady Shut is actually an amazing artist. She's a face painter. And I want to share with you here a challenge I did last year for her. She was asking on that, someone give me a challenge. And I'm like, all right, here's my challenge. I said, do something that's like Picard when he becomes the Borg in Star Trek, for those of you who get the reference. And she was like, all right, challenge accepted. And this is what she came up with. Pretty amazing. She does an amazing job with her artwork. She's very thorough and very diligent. Let's see. She's back here. Let's see if Lady, are you in with audio? Can we hear you? Oh, nope, she dropped out again. All right, we'll continue. I want to show you a couple more of her artworks here. So, as I said, very talented face painter, and constantly amazes us with the work she does. And she's very active in the community also, and glad to have her represent us with artists in with Persian artists. So huge. I'm a huge fan of her work, and I hope she can make it back on here so that we can talk to her about it. But one of the things that we're going to do now is get these folks formally onboarded, and we'll establish some protocols, especially for language. You know, when we publish something, what is the process by which our ambassadors can translate it and get things going. So it's early days. We got to kind of work things as we go. I see Lady back on here. Let's hope we get audio. Hey, can we hear you?
Hi, can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you. Welcome.
Yes.
How are you?
I had to come back with the cell phone, so
Yeah. Okay.
my
Well,
bad. Sorry.
so
Hello,
I was
everyone.
telling everyone about your amazing artwork here, and our challenge that I gave you with the Star Trek Borg and all that. So, Lady, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much. You just represented me in, instead of myself. So, hello everyone. It's Lady Shad. I'm a photographer. Actually, I started my journey in NFT with photography, and nowadays I do makeup beside my photography thing, because I have some mentality that I cannot keep anything simple. I always add something to another. It's just in terms of creativity. So during the pandemic, this is where the story begins. During the pandemic, where I was alone at home, I was like, okay, I had nothing to do, so I started experimenting makeup on my own face as a canvas. So playing around, but one thing led to another, and it just got serious. And now I just entered this kind of art into NFT, and my goal is to kind of bring the culture of art equals the artist. So I am the art, I am the artist, and yeah, that's all.
That's great. Now, Lady, I see you very active in the community. One thing I noticed about you, you're always very positive, very energetic, very positive, and you bring a great vibe there. Where does that come from? Well, how do you bring so much joy and energy into things?
I think it's because of my age, but just kidding. I'm really passionate about what I'm doing, because I really fought for what I'm doing right now as an NFT artist. I guess everyone in all the countries, it doesn't matter where you in Iran or where, this is exactly what you're trying to change the culture that being an artist is a job. So that is what I fought for a couple of years, and still I hear from my parents that get a job, what you doing? Well, I'm like, I have a job, and yeah, because I really love it and I enjoy, and I don't get tired from, even if the makeup and photography takes 24 hours and I get no sleep, it doesn't matter. Um, I just do it straight. Yeah.
Yeah, you made a very good point there. I hear all the time from young and emerging artists how their family, their friends, etc., actively discourage them from pursuing, from being an artist. And it's our mission. We're gonna make that go away. We want to make our being an artist mainstream, where you don't have to explain yourself. And we're really excited about having you on board. In fact, you and Rehane, I think you'll work together and make a fantastic uh, we're going to call it a test program, a beta program for our ambassadors, with a very large Persian artist contingent. So look forward to onboarding all of them. I recognize that for a lot of Persian artists, it's very important to be able to have liquid capital to monetize, and we are not ready for that yet. We are, as we've been talking here today, we are talking about listing on exchanges and all that, but in the next 60 days we can help educate people, etc., so that when we are ready in January, they can all come on board and start monetizing some of their artworks, etc. So once again, welcome on board to both of you to our ambassadors program. Mike, Pam, do you have any questions you want to ask them before we go on to the next topic?
No, I think it's good. Merci. Khili mamnoon.
Mike, the
Mamnoon.
Persian expert, the Farsi
Yeah.
expert. Woohoo. Yeah, but
Yeah,
welcome.
I just want to say welcome and thank you so much for being here at the beginning. It's always great to have someone with so much talent and passion help us grow this whole program. So I'm really excited to start working with you, and I think we're going to do great things.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll
Thank
be
you so
following up
much.
with you.
I am so excited.
That's great. All right, bye. See you guys later. We'll take you off here and continue our things
Bye,
here.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, that was great. It's really great as we extend the community, and it's going to happen very fast. We started with one country today, but I tell you, it will not be very long before we have this Friday show, and we have like three countries at once, and 6 people and 8 people, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of people who are very excited about being ambassadors for their countries, and we're going to move very fast on them. All right,
Yeah.
let's continue now. Let me add this to the stage. All right, let's talk a little bit about VUSD grants. So yesterday was the last day for VUSD grants that were granted via the booster program. So those are going to be revoked today. So by probably later this evening, they will be revoked. VUSD grants acquired through other sources will not be affected. Now, we consider the VUSD that was granted to boosters as phase one of the program. It was intended to bootstrap our community, our artist community, and that's why it was essentially open. Now, our priorities have shifted a little bit. As you can tell from most of the prior spotlights, we've been making a concerted effort to reduce the amount of free free floating Vitru that's there, and that's why it we are now announcing today phase two of the USD grants and a change in policy. First of all, the way we are going to make it now with any VUSD grants that are still available, the funds will be delivered to the Creator Vault, but the funds may only be staked or used for Vibe pools. So starting probably, I would say by the end of the weekend, if a VUSD grant is used to get an artwork, the funds may only be staked or used for Vibe pools. This also means that we will lift all restrictions on the vaults, because we no longer have the issue of people essentially creating fake personas, etc., and trying to um, get Vitru and basically just dump it on the decks or even on OTC. So we think it's a fair way to transition. It's a great way, because what we're going to do now is focus more on VUSD purchases. So organic sort of sales of VUSD, which I'm going to talk about momentarily. Now, I do a buying blitz every week. I haven't done it in the last 2 weeks because of travel, but I'll resume that. And that's really important, because it's not just about buying, it's also about uh, talking to artists, bringing some of them on board on the stream here, talking about their art, and really introducing exhibit to a larger audience. So the buys that I do will also be subject to the same constraint, that any funds that are acquired via a buying blitz will be usable only for staking or for Vibe. So this will ensure that really the artists who look and understand the mission of Vitruveo, which is long term, help us get there. It's not going to help us if the moment you get some Vitru, you try and try and manipulate the system, if you will, to liquidate it. That is not very helpful at all for us. So this will ensure that there's fairness, transparency, and really protection for the overall ecosystem. And in order to make sure that some artists who may not want that, because we don't want to force anything on anyone ever, we are adding a feature in Studio where an artist can opt out. So they can say that I do not want VUSD grants to be used to purchase my artwork, which means that the only way the artwork will be purchased is with VUSD that's been bought by paying actual money for it, and therefore then they are free to do whatever they wish. Whatever they wish with it. So anyway, with this combination of phase two actions, we are protecting our ecosystem. We are protecting the price of Vitru as we go into listing, and most importantly, we are making sure that the artists continue to benefit from the bootstrapping flow we have. I look at phase one artists really as having stepped up, right? We didn't have anything, and they trusted us, and they stepped into the platform, and so they benefited from it. And now the artists can still benefit from it, but they also need to give back to the community in terms of staking to protect the price, etc. So we will not make any choices on their behalf on what to stake, etc. The funds will sit there in their vault, and they can choose what period to stake for, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, or if they want to use it for a pool, they can do that also. Mike, what are your thoughts on this? You're muted, Mike. We can't hear you.
Thank you. So I think, there's been a lot of mixed understanding about the VOSD grants and kind of why they were implemented, the difference between collector credits, customer acquisition, all of these different things. So the strategy obviously is to onboard creators as quickly as possible to have a solid product base that we can actually go to market with. Now that we've, and that's why we had the BUSD to come out with our own stable coin that we could use to purchase, within Exhibit. And now the shift is going to be to art buyers and patrons. And so it's just phase by phase that we're releasing this. So there is a method to our madness. We're well aware of some of the advantages and disadvantages of each phase. But the way we're launching everything, we're trying to do it in steps and phases. So this will also help regulate the price, which is going to be a good thing. Everything is geared for January. So we're trying to control as much as we can until then and get everything secured and locked up while still onboarding creators as well as art buyers. So yeah, I think it's great.
I love the comments here. I think the community generally agrees that this is a good strategy. So thank
Yep.
you for that. We listen to whatever you say. All right. And so we will work hard to get this implemented this weekend. So by Sunday or so, it should be in place. Okay, moving right along. Now this is a part where I'm very excited. I'd like to share with you a wireframe we've developed for a cool new feature that you have probably seen here in the toolbar. We've got this last item here, buy VUSD. So everything that's grayed out is stuff that's to come yet. Everything that's white or green, it's been developed. So what I'd like to do is show you a wireframe I delivered to the dev team today, and that is our buy VUSD pop-up. So this is going to exist on pretty much all our apps. You'll be able to click buy VUSD and see this cool panels. This is a mock-up. It's a wireframe. You will be able to connect to 5 different chains: Ethereum, Base, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Vitruveo, of course. And on any of these, you can buy VUSD. And the purchase is handled instantly, more or less, maybe 15-30 seconds, something like that. So on all the regular chains, I say regular chains, all the other chains other than Vitruveo, you can only buy with USDC. But on Vitruveo, you can buy with Vitru. It will look at the current price of the DEX, and essentially you would have to pay that much Vitru to buy VUSD. Now, this has several benefits. It allows artists to also participate in buying artworks, of course, and it extends Vitruveo art buying immediately to all these other chains. So it's Ethereum, Binance, Polygon, and Base. Very easy. If you have USDC on there, you can click buy and boom, you're set up. You come to Vitruveo, your wallet is ready with VUSD, and you can buy immediately. So this is a cool feature that we've decided to make into a modal. And the reason it's being made into a modal is because we also are building a Vitruveo app, Vitruveo exhibit starter kit. What I mean by that is we are going to take the exhibit base application we've developed and make it into a template that is available on GitHub for any developer to build amazing art-centric apps using the whole repository of arts that are there. So with that in place, it will have the buy VUSD link already in the app. So any developer can quickly build an app that uses all the artworks that are there. We know that there are many creative ways, including things like metaverses, etc., that can be used to showcase this art for the purpose of transacting, for the purpose of selling it. This flat approach of a browser with tiles is not the only way to sell art. But with our starter kit, with our exhibit starter kit, and the buy VUSD link built in, we make it super easy for any developer rather, to crank out in an afternoon an application, just like Exhibit. We put all the work into it. We're going to give all this source code away, and it's open source. Do whatever you wish with it. Make it super simple for lots of developers around the world to make money by building apps that use Exhibit and that are based on Vitruveo and VUSD. So we are going to blow open essentially the ability for people to a quickly create marketplaces on Exhibit in 15 minutes using stores, but also for developers to build radically different, new, and exciting ways to monetize artworks. So I know the way I described it doesn't mean a lot, but very soon, maybe I won't commit to next week, but the week after that for sure, I'll do a demo of the starter kit, and I will show how a developer can in an afternoon build an app that leverages the artwork that we have. Remember, Vitruveo is the only chain on which the artworks are horizontal. They are across the blockchain. On every other blockchain, the artworks are trapped in silos. They are in a marketplace. They are in one or the other marketplace. But in Vitruveo, they are actually horizontally on the blockchain itself, which means anyone can build an app to search through. And we've got incredible search. We've got metadata, granular search on chain. Anyone can use that and build amazing apps. We build all these visualizations, etc. You are going to see in the next 60 days all the bits and pieces that I have demonstrated in fragments sometimes come together in a very cohesive way to create the most powerful art marketing and selling system that has ever existed in the history of this world. It is truly going to be phenomenal. I'm really excited about it. All right. So by VUSD, this is under development. We expect that it will be launched by the middle of next week, middle to end. So, but definitely before next week's Spotlight. So we'll be able to demo this at next week's Spotlight for sure. Really excited about it. All right, now let's shift gears and talk a little bit about patrons. So you see how we are shifting our strategy now. We've got the bootstrap done with our internal, if you will, audience of patrons, the crypto investors, myself, etc. But the only way we are going to be able to realize a sustainable income for artists is if we can grow the number of patrons. Now, I'm on the record telling repeatedly that the existing model of Web3 art buying is completely flawed because it relies on a small pool of collectors who have at times less capital, more capital. It's a whim, you know. And as we can see right now, the sales have plummeted completely because collectors have left the system. Well, there's no way we can create a system of sustainable income for artists if we just have a small pool of collectors. I consider 10 to 100,000 being a small pool of collectors. In order for this to really work, we need to grow the number of patrons into the millions, right? And that's what everything in our platform is built around. It's built to increase the number of patrons and to make lots and lots of people in the world a patron. The burden of being a collector of art is very high burden, and most people are not interested in that. It's the reality, it's the truth. But most people are happy to appreciate art, and that's what we are going to cater to. So the top two boxes, we are going to work to bring in the month of November here formal programs for Web3 collectors. So the existing collectors, there are some, and we want to welcome them. Also, as we onboard store galleries to using our stores feature, we want to incentivize their collectors and introduce them to digital art collectibles, and bring those on board also. So that's capturing the existing market of collectors from both Web3 and let's say Web2 galleries, right? But we want to start tapping new patrons, and that's where Mike and I have been talking about introduction. We already have given the artist the ability to have their art in high resolution for printing to various surfaces. We're not just thinking about run of the mill T-shirts and hats and mugs. We want to be able to print to high fashion, to be able to print to aluminum, to glass, etc., to things like housewares, etc. So we'll be introducing the print license and an API with multiple firms, but we'll probably start with Gelato, and the artists can then opt in and choose which of their artworks they want to be able to offer print licenses with. So if they don't want something to be printed, they don't offer a print license. But we want to make it super simple for someone to come choose print, get their print ordered, put their address, etc., get it all with a credit card, and have it shipped. No NFT, no digital asset, just a physical object with an artwork on it. So that's going to increase the print, sorry, the number of patrons in that area. The next area where we want to introduce the increase the number of patrons is stream. So by end of December, we expect to have our first beta of stream and start offering a monthly subscription service for folks to be able to stream artworks from those artists who choose to opt in by creating a stream license. So all of these things together are going to start the process of really increasing the patrons, because without doing this, it's not possible for us to grow the ecosystem and to grow the monetization for artists. So all of this is coming in the next 60 days. I wanted to kind of highlight that this is a really important part of our strategy, and we are excited because by the end of the year, what we are looking at is a full exhibit platform. We would have every feature here at least in its basic form done. So that's search, stacks, stores, streams, studio, and buy VUSD. Now, we are currently aiming to do what we call MVP, minimum viable product. So following that, we'll start adding more features. There's a lot of things we know we have to add, but we've resisted doing it because we want to focus on what's really, really necessary. So that's coming together very, very nicely. And with the focus now on patrons, we'll start increasing that footprint also. So the whole vision of our platform is starting to come together really well. So excited about it. So how are we going to do this? Well, we will provide incentive programs for Web3 and gallery collectors. What can an incentive program look like? Well, for example, we can do a percentage match of their VUSD purchase. So if you buy $100 of VUSD, we might give you a credit for 20 grant VUSDs. So that way you can buy some free artwork, and artists get more sales. And this is an incentive for you to really join the ecosystem. The For the print license, we will actively look to run ads. We might run Google ads and things like that. And for streams, the way our go-to-market will work is with distribution partners. So we will be actively looking for hardware display manufacturers, maybe a hotel, maybe a restaurant chain, etc., to become a distribution partner to be able to launch streams with. So we'll actively start working in that area. And for all of these things now, what we want to do is enable our community members who have access, so who may have friends, etc., to have a formal way to submit leads and really get some referral bonus for it also. So expect to see that. Expect to see a form where you can submit a lead and get credit for that in some form if the lead there's a conversion and it becomes a partner or a source of revenue for us. So we want anyone who can help us, and we want to make sure that this truly works like an ecosystem where everyone is doing their part to help grow. So that's kind of our game plan here, and it's coming together really, really well. I know a lot of people want everything to be done yesterday. That is not possible. Everything has to be done in order, by step. Trust me, I see comments all the time that you should do this, or I love when a sentence begins with just do this. Just the moment I see that word, I stop reading, because I know that what's going to come next is something impossible to achieve at a startup, or it costs a lot of money and they haven't given any thought to time, money, etc. So, but we are progressing this with this in a very strategic and a very deliberate manner, and we have to always be cognizant of the fact that everything takes time, everything takes money, and everything takes attention. So if we are paying attention to X, we can't pay attention to Y, so we have to choose where we focus and be very deliberate. So I love your ideas. Please keep them coming, but also remember that we are a startup and we don't have the resources of a giant enterprise company that's been around for 5 years with a huge team of developers, etc. We have to choose what we do, and when we make a choice to do something, it means something else is not going to get done. But we are making these choices in a very strategic manner, and we invite you to keep coming up with your ideas, but be pragmatic, please. All right. So I think that is it for today. Yes, that is it. I believe the download link is up. Mike, let's look at some questions. Yeah.
Yep, let's do it. Okay.
Oh, I am overdue for a sip of chai, so let me do that first.
Yeah. I actually got to have my first shared sip of chai with Nick in Dubai, so that was fun.
Yes, that was great.
Does it look like we're initially going after tier 2 exchanges? What's the goal for getting onto tier 1? Are we looking at 4 weeks, 2 months, 2 to 4 months? So yeah, good question. Yeah, so just know, guys, obviously the sentiment is unless we're on Coinbase, it's not going to be good, right? That's just not the way it works. Coinbase wants to onboard communities that have 100,000, 200,000 community members with daily volume. They're very strict. It's very difficult to get on Coinbase. So there is a process in order to build up to that. That's kind of what we're focusing on. Tier 2, I think the entire process will probably be about 45 days realistically. Once we start the process, which we're looking at right now. The elections are causing a little bit of a backlog, but we'll push through that. That's why we kind of want to get this process started in the next 2 weeks. For the tier 1, it really does depend on volume. It depends on community growth. We kind of know what the requirements are for, let's say, a KuCoin or one of these tier 1 exchanges. KuCoin will probably be one of the ones that we look at. And this listing company that we're working with, they're putting together a strategy for us to get on tier 1. So just know that that is in development, but we have to list. We can't just wait another 6 months to list until our community gets to a certain size. What we want to do is grow the community organically, starting off in a tier 2, grow it, and then do multiple. A tier 2 exchange maybe has 6 million users, somewhere in there. So if we have 3 of them, we're looking at somewhere around 18 to 20 million users that are going to have exposure to our blockchain. Whenever you do list on a tier 2, the tier 2 exchange, especially for a blockchain, will produce marketing to all 6 million users. And then there's other things that we're going to be doing, other marketing that we're going to be doing for Wrap Vitruveo and also Vitruveo. So just trust the process. This is actually really good. So we're excited to kind of see that unfold over the next 60 days. Nick,
I love
do you want to
comment.
cover?
Just take a sip of chai.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Just do it.
Just
do it.
Any update on when CSV exports on Explorer will be enabled or live? Nick, you want to cover that?
I don't know that it was not. I will talk to Nelio and get it enabled. So Nelio, when you're listening to this, please let us know when this can happen.
Perfect. Okay. Will there be a placeholder NFT or something for the Orbit NFT so that we have bought a $250 bundle?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we'll be enabling that feature. That's actually one of the key reasons why that feature is not there, because it requires a contract change. And Mike and I were just talking about how to implement that. That the Orbit should be a separate contract or built into the existing Vortex, etc. There's a lot of nuanced issues there, but we'll make a decision on that. And as soon as the Veo marketing page is updated, the Orbit NFT will also be present and show up in your scope if you're eligible for it.
Yeah. Okay, great. I don't see staking live when I look on mobile. So
hit refresh. It's your browser.
Yeah. Okay. Update for booster referral program.
It's probably lower the list. As I said, we'll focus on the top 5. It's
Yeah,
somewhere on
I
that
know.
list. We'll
Yeah,
come up with.
just so the community knows, we have an active spreadsheet that Biz manages for all prior promotions and incentives. The booster program, the sneakers, all of, the Vitro for the validators, all of these things are on the list, and we are getting to them slowly but surely. But we can't prioritize this. If we prioritize one thing, that means that we're not going to, do something else. So the priority obviously was the staking, the Dubai conference, and now the VO buy page and some of these other things that are take precedent. But don't worry, no need to ask this question. We're not going to forget about it. Everything has been documented, and every week, every Wednesday, the mods have a meeting, and Nick and I are typically a part of that meeting, and we review. This is one of the things that we review on wrapping some of these closed incentives. So just know that it's being worked on. What about KYC for new artists, or what's about? Yeah, so I know what they're saying.
Yeah. So as I already mentioned, stores and creator level are the focus for November. So
Mhm.
KYC is included implicitly a part of creator level. It's not a separate feature.
Yeah. Okay. We also need a landing page to buy VUSD with ETH, Vitru, and credit card.
No, we built a modal dialogue for that that I just described. So we won't have a landing page. Instead, we will add that to every one of our apps. The credit card part is going to take a little more time because, as I've explained before, there's challenges with gateways and things like that. But one of the category of companies we talked at with in Dubai is credit card. So we have a number of companies to finish conversations with and see how they fit our needs. It all comes down to who can provide us the most flexible capabilities with the least fees, because fees are where they get you there. It's a little complicated.
Yep. But that's on my list, so we're working on that credit card issue. Okay. So what if I build my own marketplace? People can click print and then get delivery to their home.
You can
That's the
certainly
plan.
do that. The only thing is we won't let you uh, do a markup on your own marketplace. It doesn't make sense. Just price the artwork whatever you want it to be. But yeah, anyone can create a marketplace with their own works, with their friends' works, whatever you want. And yeah, if your artwork has a print license enabled, then people can print from there. That's what we are building toward. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So I can print art from exhibit and get delivery to my house. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can check out Gelato. That's the platform we are probably going to go with because they have a great API and they have regional distribution around the world, shipping rather, not distribution around the world. So it makes it possible for us to serve the complete all countries right away.
yep. Kind of looking. Come on, guys. There's got to be more questions. I've been on Discord for the last 2 days and following all the comments, and I know that there's a lot of questions. When marketing, when this, when that, and that's why I did the minor update today. I want to address it now, not in a comment. So
Well, I think we addressed
yeah,
pretty much all those issues here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely want to make sure that if you guys do have any other questions, let's hit them now. If not, then of course we can double tap in Discord.
Yeah. By my count, we are about 125,000 staked in the time we've had this up here.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a bunch of questions coming in. Thank you. You addressed, yeah, we did address the marketing. That's good. A rebase claim button. When do we get a rebase claim button? That's
The,
it's already kind of dropped, isn't it?
it's implicit in there, but some of the contracts don't have the calculations quite right. So we'll be doing that. And we could kind of backburner that until now because there weren't rebases happening. But as soon as we roll out this protocol update, it's going to be regular rebases, I feel, and so it's going to be very important. So I'll commit to making sure that all apps where there is a rebase have and a claim functionality will allow you to claim your rebases as they happen. So we'll get
Okay,
that done.
perfect. Great. Are existing consignments be able to extend the licensing from Doc Martin?
Yeah. Licensing, you can go and add a license anytime you want. You won't be able to change for example, once we enable elastic editions, for example, if someone's bought a few, you can't go and change that in the middle of the cycle. But if no one has used the license, you can even delete it. You can add a new license. Absolutely, yeah. So we built this licensing model to be very, very unique in the world of art. And honestly, all people have seen so far is the digital collectible, so you don't recognize the power of it. But now that we are going to enable the print and the stream, you'll start seeing how very powerful it is. The licensing system is designed so not only can you have across the board global licenses, but you can also have custom licenses. So, for example, we'll give the ability for an artist to create a custom license for just one customer, where they can give a unique price point and unique license language just for that customer. So why would you do that? Well, let's say that some consumer product manufacturing company approached you and says, I want to use your artwork on, I don't know, 10 million uh, purses or something like that. You could create a custom license for them and handle it all on chain and deal with that. So that's the licensing is very flexible, and existing consignments will certainly be able to to add new licenses. Remember, I talk about this all the time. We want every one of your artworks to be able to make money for you for the rest of your life. That means you can keep going back and adding as we come up with new and interesting license types. Go and light it up. Go light up your existing artworks with that license and make money with it.
Perfect. At Nick, can we upload a large series of pictures to exhibit? I have made 1,000 series of pics for crypto projects on OpenSea.
As I mentioned, our focus right now, I get lots and lots of ideas for features. Believe me, there's no shortage of them. Uh, for us, we have to be disciplined, though. We want to build out the core platform first, get it working, and be able to prove our monetization models before we start getting into areas like this, which is bulk uploads and things like that. We have limited resources, limited capital, limited time, and so we need to build out the platform first. So we need to go horizontally first, and then we'll start going vertically. This is a vertical feature where we want to bulk uploads, and we definitely want this because say a museum comes on board, right? They have like 50,000 artworks. We don't want them to be doing one at a time. We want them to have a bulk process for it. So yes,
Yeah.
we want to do it, but not quite yet.
Yeah, I think we'll be exploring this once we get creator level done, and where we have a way of sorting through things. But very good. Are we going to do a vote for tier 2 for the community? Okay, so we've just started this process. We're in talks with the listing company that we're dealing with, this partnership that we're kind of going in. They get incentives. We don't have to pay anything for this service. They get incentives on the back end from the exchange. We do want to make sure that the tier 2s that we're doing have a large user base and that they're actually going to add value. We're not just trying to list. We want it to be a successful list. And they have experience and backdoor relationships with these tier 2 exchanges. So I know that there's already some comments in Discord of saying, well, MEXCC was a terrible flop. We don't want to do business with them. Just to clarify, we're not planning on listing with MEXC. We didn't have a great experience with them in terms of support. Even though with this new relationship that we have with this new listing company, they are our support. In the sense that if we're having issues, with the actual exchange, we go to our listing contact first, and they go through their Seawater or their backend contact, and then typically get a response, within 2 to 3 days, because they're bringing the exchange business, so they have a dedicated a rep, and it doesn't just go into a call center or some bot support system. So we're expecting a lot of really good input from this listing company. Will we put it to a vote? I don't know. I'm going to have to talk with Nick about that. Not to say that we're trying to take a centralized approach. It has to make business sense, not just a vote. So we're looking for, the fees are different for every tier two exchange that we're listing, even a tier one. And then they have levels of, meaning the more you spend for the listing fee, we're going to do this for you. We're going to market your business a lot more than, let's say, if your listing fee is 15,000, if your listing fee is say 16,000, we're going to do X for you. So we need to evaluate the offerings from all of the different exchanges. But just know that we're interested in ROI, we're interested in a great experience, we're interested in great support, and Nick and I will evaluate each of the tier two. We may or may not publish that, but just know, Aris, we're going to take your suggestion, and we may be more than happy to present. Hey guys, this is our action plan. If you have any disagreement, go ahead and put forth. But it's not necessarily a democracy. We're making a business decision, not a hey, we think this is going to be the best thing. There's going to be a reason why we choose certain exchanges over others. But again, we want to go with the most popular and the ones that are going to benefit us the most. Nick, do you have anything on that?
This is only to start off, right? We could we'll be on lots of exchanges eventually. So it's just a matter of which ones we start off with initially. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you copyright the phrase "join the next art renaissance" and use it for marketing?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Why not? It's kind of fun.
I would call it. I would say just join the next art renaissance. Just kidding.
All right.
Good idea.
Let me just
we'll
see
trademark.
What else we got?
I started a few.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They were from artists, mostly about licensing. So
we'll be able to print mode on a current consignments. How about sold artworks? So obviously we're building that out. It is going to be contingent upon how the API is going to integrate with search and with stores. So give us some time on that. We'll be able to get into it. There is another company that I'm interested in looking at for print on demand. They're a massive company, global company. I work with them. I have an existing relationship with them for the print on demand, and they have a massive inventory of high quality substrates and different ways of printing the artwork. It's not just a merchandise where they're a middleman and they're outsourcing it. But global shipping really is something that's going to be important. We don't want typically 7 different print on demand solutions, one for each continent type of thing. We really do want to kind of find the right partner for our print on demand. The problem is that you have issues of quality and you want to make sure that the experience and the quality is consistent among all of our partners. When we do a print on demand, we'd prefer to deal with just one global partner, but that's something that we're evaluating right now.
So Mike, can you please go back to the question, because that question was really more about licensing.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So let me share Exhibit Studio here. So you've seen this. Anyone who's consigned, you've seen these panels. So each of these is a different license type, and notice how it always has a 1 at the end of it. Why? Because we know from day one that we are going to have hundreds of different license types. So what you will be able to do anytime with any of your artworks is go in and check a box to enable a license. So I can enable a license like this, just like that, So we did have a print license here, but we created a bug there where we required you to, when you enable the print license, we didn't have a requirement for you to have a high resolution artwork. We are fixing that, and we'll enable the print license in time for us to do this. So the question then really becomes, what can someone do with your artwork? Can they take if someone's already purchased, for example, a digital asset with a single edition here, can you enable a print license? The answer is 100% yes, unequivocally. because the way the license works, and it's really important, we use Creative Commons licenses. You can go read the text there. What you're enabling when you have a license like this is you're enabling the buyer to have um, one edition of a digital version of your artwork for a specific use case. So you can go click on the eye here, and you can look at what they are allowed to do. They are not allowed to use it for non-commercial purposes. They cannot remix, etc. So that's the default license, right? But this, oops, wrong place. Where was I? Here. This does not preclude you. Remember, you are the artist and therefore own the copyright for the artwork. And this is why this is a very this is a very common misconception. Artists feel that if they have sold an NFT to someone, they cannot do anything else with it. Wrong. We're going to introduce hundreds of license types here where you can continue to monetize your art, provided it is not in conflict with a license you've already sold. So this is why it's important to choose the right license type. Don't give away your rights when you license your artwork. So Creative Commons, I realize, is the most common one, but also it might be opaque for artists because you're not lawyers. We are not lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. But so we'll make it easier for you to select this in the future. We just chose Creative Commons um, as a quick way. What we're going to do here is extend this license thing with custom licenses created by our. We'll basically pay lawyers to create custom licenses for exhibit specific use cases where you can say, okay, here's my license for, I don't know, streaming or for printing or whatever. Now, in the existing world of Web3 NFTs, you give when someone has an NFT, they may or may not have the rights to print it, depending on what license they have. Usually, you're given no license, and so they don't have a license. Now, when we enable the print license here, it's very important for you to understand that you're giving them a license only to print. They will not own a digital collectible. They will not own an NFT of the artwork unless we create and you enable an NFT plus print license. So you could have a combo cost for it that's cheaper than buying both of them separately, right? But otherwise, someone wants to print and own a digital collectible, they have to pay twice. They have to buy the NFT at whatever price that is, and they have to pay to print. Now, the pricing on this we'll provide guidance to you on, because you cannot charge someone as much as an NFT. Well, I say you cannot, but you can actually. It's up to you. You're the artist. You can price it however you want. But it doesn't make sense, let's put it that way, for you to charge someone for a print of it versus owning a digital collectible of it. So most of the print cost will be for the physical printing and the asset, whatever it is, right? Whether it's a frame or canvas, uh, a bag, whatever it is, and a small portion of that, in addition, will be for the print. So we'll do some research and we'll provide some guidance on what that could be. It's probably going to be some multiple of the NFT price. So, for example, it could be 0. 0.5 or 0.25 or something as a multiple. So maybe what I mean by that is a print license might cost you a tenth or 25% of the NFT cost or something like that. Because remember, with print, the idea is that it's an affordable thing. You don't want they don't hold the asset to be able to resell it. For example, once it's printed, it's kind of hard to resell a custom print, I don't know, hat or something like that. Maybe a canvas or something. It's really hard to do it. But anyway, long story short, yes, you will be able to relicense things that have already been sold because of the way these licenses are structured. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody.
Okay, great.
I think there's a lot of
Let's
questions in a
see.
similar vein. I hope I've answered all of them.
Yeah. Print and get delivered to their home. Can we change existing consignment artwork? Got that. We'll be able to print mode current consignments. What about sold work? This one here, Nick. Could you please help add an edit feature for already consigned listed video artworks as I wanted to upload a higher resolution preview.
Yeah, we're going to add an edit feature for just about everything except for the things that should not be changeable by you because either they've been licensed or something like that. But it is on our list. But it is, as I will keep coming back to this. We want to build out the base platform before we start going deep. So we'll build out the horizontal platform before we go vertical. Edit of existing thing is a vertical feature. So it will come later after we've finished building the base features.
Yep. Somebody asked, wanting update on VCs, any progress with that? And I think we have a few updates on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the conversation continues. We now have a new pitch deck. We have new traction to report, but we have a very tight timeline here. And any deals we do are probably going to take a lot longer. It's going to be more for um, post post the listing, if you will, because that's the time horizon. We are currently on track. If we are able to, I say if, but when we are able to finish our Veo bundle sales, we we have enough capital to do our listings. We have enough capital for a decent enough runway, so that we can then focus on doing a much larger round with VCs to grow. For example, the other verticals, the gaming vertical, we have to grow that. Music vertical, film vertical, we have to grow that, and that's going to require a lot of capital, north of probably $50 million. So that's where we really want to take advantage of the VCs.
Yeah, and just to give clarity on this, guys, the way this works is you start off with seed funding, and then you go to Series A, Series B, Series C funding. Most people, when they use the word VC, they're just thinking about investors, right? In the $1 to $2 million or 10 million or 50 million or 400 million. Sometimes you'll see articles like, oh, so and so got 400 million. Yeah, but you don't realize that they've done the seed, they've done the Series A, they've done the Series B, they've done several rounds of various funding. For us, we're in the seed stage, so we're not expecting somebody to come and give us $450 million with, let's say, 10,000 active, users, and we're not even finished built yet. We're in the seed stage, and every single month we do take in investor revenue. Part of it is from the community, part of it is outside. We've actually just got a lot of funding coming in from seed investors that we're expecting that in the next 2 weeks, maybe, Nick, somewhere around there. So we're constantly monitoring the runway that we have to not just list, but Nick and I'd be more comfortable once we get to around 6 months to 12 months of a runway. And so right now we feel we're looking really good. Listing is going to help quite a bit, but we really do need to manage the coin price. That's why the staking feature is so important, because if you guys want the coin to do well at list, stake as much as you can. That will reduce sell pressure. All of the marketing that we do is definitely going to build the ecosystem and give us those green candles that we're all looking for. But if the mentality is similar to what we had with Vitruveo, where the company just wants, or where the community just wants to dump on each other and do a cash grab, it's not going to go well. So you can do your part by the community by staking as much as you can, reducing the active supply. Right now, we're looking pretty good. With 16 million circulating supply, we've got maybe a 4 million active supply. The rest is held in the treasury or is staked. So we're looking actually pretty good, but we still need to manage the staking with the creators, with the Vitru that they've received. We want to kind of obviously increase that staking to reduce the active supply, and the community can do their part by staking as much as they can, so that will give the price, the confidence it needs, once we go to list. We are looking at doing a initial coin offering, pretty soon here. We're building up a strategy in order to list, and we're probably going to have some updates on that in the next 2 weeks, which is kind of exciting. So yeah, all this to go back to VCs. There are certain phases that startups will go through. We're in the seed phase right now, so a traditional VC is not something that we're expecting. We're really looking for angel investors and people that will provide seed capital. Nick, do you want to? Did I miss anything on that?
I think that's good. We'll leave it at that.
Sounds good. Printify and Printful, print on demand. Yeah, both are great companies. I don't know their API. We're more focused on.
I would say no, they are not great at all for us because they have no API. Basically, if a company doesn't have an API, they're a non-starter. We are not going to engage in trying to do any kind of manual hacks and things like that. They need to have a robust API and be designed to handle printing from programs at scale. So a lot of these companies are consumer-oriented companies. They're not designed for businesses, for B2B, which is what we need, B2B.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So a feature request for the near future for collectors upon purchase of an NFT work physical art, get a link unlocked to apply to claim the physical arts. It might be a short Google form or socials.
So Karishma, you're going to be disappointed. I'm going to say no to that. And let me tell you why. So we are building a platform to scale monetization of art for artists, in a really big way, in a very repeatable way. Anytime we add a feature where an artist can, here's a choice, here's a form, fill out, ping me on socials, etc. It's not a system. You always have to think of things as a system. I keep going back to our licensing model. That's the only way. That's the only way things are going to work, which is for everything that we want to do, we're going to add a license type on chain that is handled with a workflow for it. For example, it's not going to be where we only leave it at the NFT, the digital collectible. You're going to be able to say, have a license for digital collectible. You're going to have one for print, and you're going to have for digital and physical. For example, that would cover this. So there's going to be a license type for various things, and always everything we do has to be done through the system and not through some outside ad hoc measure that involves forms and external things like that. We want to be able to handle everything on chain where there's a nice provenance and it's trackable. So there will be a license that the buyer can choose at the time of purchase, digital plus physical.
Yeah, but I think that's it, Nick. In terms of questions, thank you guys for the last blitz of questions. Really, really good stuff. We can obviously do some follow-up in Discord. If you guys have any further questions or maybe something wasn't answered in the live, definitely hit me up in Discord and we'll be able to provide some support and insight on some of those questions that were not covered in the spotlight today. Let's see.
Meanwhile, thanks for kicking ass on this, on the scope. As you can see, it's really gone up since the beginning of the session when I announced the feature. So it's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just one last one. I'm this was covered in Dubai quite a bit, is the AI and how it is applying to gaming. It's something that we are looking at. It most likely will not be a part of phase one, just to manage your expectations on, for Vortex. We need to keep it simple to get it launched and do more of a focus on, like, let's say a land claim or something like that. It'll have limited functionality in the beginning as we build out the game. Developing Vortex will probably cost maybe $300,000, somewhere around there. We really don't, we've already done a lot of preliminary research based on the functionality of the game. Those are kind of the quotes that we get. We have, we could launch a Discord game, let's say, for 30,000, or we could do a Instagram game, with the TON network and for much cheaper. We're looking at all different, ways of executing Vortex, but the white paper is really going to be our focus right now. But yeah, we are looking at that. So thanks for the question. Aside from that, I think we're good.
I think that's it. I can go to sleep now.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. And I do want to point out one little tiny thing. There is going to be a special stream we are going to do. It may be on one of Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I won't know yet. I will let you know by Sunday. but it's a very special stream. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be a surprise, and it's gonna be amazing. And look forward to hosting it. But it's gonna be on one of those 3 days. We'll let you know by Sunday, and look forward to having you guys on that stream. So we'll leave it
Don't
at
miss
that.
that one. Don't miss that one. Look for the announcement.
Yes.
But we got a few tricks in our sleeves to pump you guys up, and so that's coming in the next couple of days, as Nick said.
All right. Well, with that, we are out. Thank you very, very much, and have
Thanks
a
so
good weekend.
much, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Happy
Yeah.
Diwali to everyone who's celebrating. So happy Diwali.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Happy Diwali. Bye-bye.